Hey everybody, welcome to our third episode of the Chip Roasting Podcast with your hosts, Wally and Brennan. Brennan,
Up to 3 episodes now. Three
yeah,
episodes. This is
3 episodes.
officially a podcast.
It is, except
Yeah.
last time I forgot to advertise the podcast. So on
Oh,
YouTube anyway, there are no views,
yes.
but I haven't
I
modified anything yet. So
I haven't actually published a video since our last podcast, so I never got a chance to plug that one either.
gotcha.
But
Well,
I should be filming another episode for my channel sometime soon.
Good.
So
the only
we'll
two
see how that
videos
goes.
I've had on my channel since like mid-July are the last two episodes of the podcast. So there's that. But I did good. I did better on the first episode with plugging it than I did the second. So I guess we'll do better. We'll do better this time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm
All
gonna
right. Yep.
I'm gonna privately message everyone in my contacts on all social media. And just be like, please listen to this like hour and a half long rant about just movies and such.
You just send them the link. That's it. No
Yeah.
words, just the link.
Oh yeah.
And maybe write Mark Hamill.
Yeah. I'll be like, Mark Hamill wants you to watch this.
I did the count. It was like 54 times.
Oh wow.
You mentioned his name. So I hope we do that less because we will not be talking about
Yeah. I mean, we're
his
already
obvious
up to
movies.
2 here.
That's
Yeah.
true.
We're already up to
We are up
2
to
mentions. Yeah.
But we're not going to be talking about his direct movies this time. Just, the ones of the characters he plays to play people,
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
So there's not much news to go over except the news that did come. It was massive news.
Spider-Man.
Yeah, Spider-Man. Finally some details about Spider-Man.
Bring me pictures of Spider-Man.
and Marvel and Sony delivered.
Yeah.
The big news that came out was that Doctor Strange is going to be in the Spider-Man 3. So it will be connected to Multiverse of Madness whenever we get that. And WandaVision, because that's also connected to it. So
Yep.
Spider-Verse, here we come.
They may be using Spider-Man 3 to bridge the gap now, because it was supposed to be like original timeline of movies, which we're like so far away from now. It's supposed to be like WandaVision, then immediately Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
But now since there's going to be like a year and a half, 2 year period between the two things,
Right.
they're probably just like trying to have this movie kind of be in the middle to kind of make sense of it all, while there are other MCU films occurring all around this.
Right.
With that, I have heard for the multiverse stuff that there's going to be the other Spider-Men from previous other Spider-Man films. Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield. I'm really hoping that they get John Mulaney in there as Spider-Ham, because that's my one big hope. But
are we gonna get the Japanese version from the 70s also? That Spider-Man? Or was it Japanese?
I know what you're talking about, actually.
Yeah.
I actually understand that reference. I
hope we
so.
do.
That would be fantastic.
Because that was great.
Just
with
all
the giant robot.
Yeah.
The only proper way to do Spider-Verse.
I don't know how else to describe it. If anyone's like listening here and they're like, what are they talking about? I don't know. You have to like have this really niche piece of knowledge, or just, I don't know if you can even look that up, how easy it is to look up. But if you're listening to it, just like type it into Google or whatever now. Bing, maybe. I think Bing is rebranded as Microsoft Bing now, which I don't know if that's going to do it any favors or not. But
you can use Microsoft Bing on the Microsoft Edge.
Yeah.
Formerly Microsoft Explorer.
Yes.
The worst of the internet apps.
Yep.
Well, I guess the other big news from that was also that Jamie Foxx's Electro is going to be in it.
Yep.
So that's big news too.
Interesting, but it's like, is it the Electro from Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man now?
Right.
I hope not. God, I hope not. But
I saw somewhere that it's not. It's going to be like the MCU's version of Electro, but also maybe the Andrew Garfield. Who knows?
And we'll see when it comes out.
Whenever that happens.
Until then, we will be stating speculation as fact, as always.
I mean, that's what this podcast is famous. Between the 5 people who combined watched the last 2, famous for doing.
Mhm. Yes. Yes.
So I think that's the only movie. I saw something earlier that was like, I guess there's a leaked episode of Captain America and the Winter Soldier, but I don't want it to be ruined, so I did not touching that episode.
Oh, the Falcon
What did I say?
and the Winter Soldier. You should Captain America and the Winter Soldier.
I mean, technically
But
that's what it is,
yeah,
but it's also
technically,
not.
if Falcon does become Captain America, that'll be correct. This is a spoiler. You saying that is just a spoiler because we have now confirmed officially that Falcon will become the new
That's
Captain
what we're
America.
confirming?
Yes.
All right, I guess. I mean, it's
Um,
again five views amongst 2 episodes. So, I mean, if this somehow makes it to Marvel and it's right, then I mean, they'll take this down.
what I want to happen is just the very last episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier. The Falcon becomes Captain America, and then in like the post credits scene of the series, we have like 95-year-old Steve Rogers in like the Falcon suit flying around, like not in the MCU Falcon suit, the really classic old like where he's just like a bird with like feathers or whatever, just now and
The
flying
red
around.
one.
Yeah. Still knowing that series is going to be early. It's gonna
But that's
early
a
next year, but yeah.
that's something I was wondering. Is that every MCU movie has an end credit scene. Is every episode gonna have an end credit scene? Is every season gonna have an end credit scene? Like, how's that all gonna work?
Yeah, I'm assuming it's just like the end of the series. There'll be an extra scene after like all the credits, and like I think that Disney Plus is pretty good at letting the credits play. Like if it was like on Netflix or whatever, they would just like skip past it. You'd be aware. But hoping that Disney Plus will let those end scenes play.
Well, there is a feature that says skip credits at the end of the Disney Plus movies. Like it's at least the MCU ones. So you can just skip credits and go to the next one. And I know in ones I watched Guardians of the Galaxy 2 a couple weeks ago, and I was able to skip the credits all 3 times. So that was nice. Yeah.
Okay.
So they got that going for them.
So yes, no one will ever see the end credits scene for the series because they'll just be able to skip past them. But we will see them. We will be the only 2 people to see them.
They'll skip the credits to go to the end credits scene.
Oh, they'll go to the end credits? That's okay. Technology has come too far. Technology is too advanced now.
Too advanced. They're skipping the credits.
I don't know how to live in this world. Skipping the credits to an exact point in time, man. If I had this technology as like a kid when I was like watching things, I'd not have to watch all the credits, but still get like the cool parts. That would have been a dream. Been a dream.
I guess an update for the movies we mentioned last time. I should probably look this up before I say it for sure. But I know for a fact one of these is true. James Bond was pushed back again because of obvious reasons.
The Mark Hamdemic.
Yes.
Mark Hamdemic. Yes.
I love that I called it that too.
Absolutely.
I think. Yeah. Okay. That's what I thought. So according to CNN, as a reliable news source as you choose it to be, Pixar's movie Soul is going to come out on Disney Plus. It's going to skip theaters. I think it's coming out in December, and then And then I think DC moved back a bunch of their projects too.
Is it coming out like for free, or is it one like the Mulan type things where you have to pay an extra like $30 after having subscribed?
Brennan, it's Disney. You know the answer to that question.
Yeah, I was afraid of that.
It's probably that. I didn't click on the article because we're in the middle of a podcast. I mean, I don't think that is adequate for an audio medium. It might be entertaining to watch It might be entertaining if you're watching the podcast, but probably not.
There are all those like jokes and stuff that I see. Like it's on Twitter. I don't know who tweeted this out, so I'm so sorry if whoever it is listening to this that I didn't shout you out in a podcast with like 5 subscribers, like 5 listeners max right now
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Because we had 3, I think, on Spotify. I think we have 3 people following us on Spotify and 2 on SoundCloud. Granted, one of the 2 on SoundCloud is me. So.
All right. But with with the joke, some joke about how someone like wants in like an audiobook where it's just like a celebrity who's reading a book but just in their head.
Yeah.
And then it gets to like the very end. They're like, "Oh, you want me to read it out loud?" And it's like several hours of just silence. This podcast should be just us reading articles about cool movie things and just not saying
Just like have the
anything.
newspaper. It's like, and then like at the end, it's like at the end of Ferris Bueller. It's like, you're still here.
Exactly.
Go home.
Exactly. It'll be the John Cage's 433 of podcasts, essentially.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Before we get on to the next thing we want to do, because we're actually going to play a game today, because that's the only bit of news that happened this week. And what's it, a 14-minute podcast? I don't think anyone wants that. That's not the point of podcasts. So, I mean, we're not a news podcast strictly. Yes. We do it like to speculate.
Our minimum is apparently our line here.
By the way, last episode we were saying how it was our shortest episode. Actually ended up being our longest episode.
Our longest episode of all time. Of all past 2 episodes.
Of all, yeah. I mean,
the longest.
Which would be all time, because we've only done 2 episodes.
Exactly. I mean, we can't rule time travel out yet.
Exactly. I mean, who knows? I guess we would know, because they would have been in the past, wouldn't we?
Yeah. Unless it's like, like alternate realities, like, there are multiple Earths in the same dimension, or different Earths in different dimensions, or timelines, all that.
Multiverse.
I need to watch Primer still. Is that what it's called? Primer? There's a movie called Primer that's apparently like really complicated with time travel. That's so confusing. But I need to watch it. I've heard about it.
What's that movie called where they go into people's minds? Inception.
Is it
like Inception but with time travel and such?
I have no idea. I just heard it's confusing, and I should watch it. But I'm going to call it. This isn't an endorsement of the movie yet.
Oh, okay. Not yet.
When I watch it, probably the next 2 weeks, I'll endorse it for our next podcast. Yeah. If I like it. If not, then
then you anti-endorse it.
Yes. I should actually as soon as we finish the episode of the podcast, I'm going to purchase it and Chromecast it or whatever. So I'll let you know in 2 weeks how it goes.
But what I was going to say was I started watching the Harley Quinn series on HBO Max, because with AT&T, which is what my family has, we get HBO Max for free for 6 months. So I was like, of course I'm going to use it. Yeah, and it's really funny. This is an endorsement of the Harley Quinn show. So HBO, if you need someone to tell other people how great they are, we're your podcast.
If you want to do extremely targeted marketing of 5 select people, contact us now.
I mean, we talk about the MCU. Obviously, those people probably are maybe interested in the DCEU, maybe partially.
Yes,
so
absolutely.
I think
we are the place to go for that kind of targeted marketing.
Listening to the people's houses, targeted marketing, that kind. But yeah, it's a great show. I actually think it started on DC's app first, and now it's on HBO Max. But it's really funny.
I still have the app because a friend signed onto it on my phone, and they were like, "Oh, I'm gonna cancel it soon, but you can whatever." And I still have access to it, so I'm assuming they haven't canceled it yet.
And here's to hoping they never do, unless they're listening to this right now.
Yeah, their app is. I think DC has decided to kind of kill off their app.
I did see that
because they're putting all their shows other places now.
HBO Max would be one of them.
Yeah, and I'm trying to think because they had 3 good shows and they all kind of got sent to separate places. I think Stargirl was sent to the CW, and Harley Quinn was sent to HBO. I don't remember what the third one was or where that one was sent. The Young Justice series on there. I know that got renewed for a 4th season, but obviously it's not going to go on the app now, so I don't know.
I think it's on HBO Max, actually. Oh yeah. I'm not sure. I'd have to look. I've heard that's a good show.
Oh yeah.
Never seen it.
For the 3rd season, because so I watched it with my younger brother who loves that show, and I had watched it with him when it came out. All those 2010 or whatever was when it first came out or something. I think it got canceled for a while, and it was brought back for the DC app. But I was watching. I was so confused. That's a show you have to watch in a short span of time. Because they cram so many people in there and so many plot lines. I was so my brother's watching this makes perfect sense, and I was like, who are these people? I haven't seen them. This isn't it was it's 4 episodes from the end, and they ran this other plot thread that was from season 1 or whatever, and I just couldn't keep track. But it is a good show. It really handles a lot of things well. If I knew more about DC characters, I probably would have enjoyed it a whole lot more. But we don't. We just want like a superhero thing to put on the background. Great show.
My biggest thing with DC, and that maybe it's just because I haven't read much into it, or they don't have an app like Marvel where you can go like, download and read all the comics, is that the famous villains that they have and superheroes they have and stuff like that, with some exceptions, are just like people with guns, like Deadshot, Joker, Harley Quinn.
Like Captain Boomerang has a boomerang instead of a gun.
Yeah, for people, regular people with no powers with weapons. Of course, Martian Manhunter, Wonder Woman, not Spider-Man, Superman, very different. They all have powers, but one is an Amazonian who was isolated for millennia. One is an alien. Actually, two of them are alien: Martian Manhunter and Superman. So, I don't know. Maybe this is me. There are definitely people like that in Marvel, but I'm going to nitpick because I'm biased.
Yeah. Okay with me. There are a lot of villains that seem to be like the same, though I totally get where you're coming from. Mm-hmm. I know in an episode of Young Justice, they directly pointed out something. I was like, wow, there's a lot of ice themed villains. Because there's one scene where a lot of people are all fighting ice themed villains. There's Iceman, there's Captain Cold, there's Mr. Freeze. There's at least two more. And it's what? And when was it Young Justice? They just had all of them, and I was like, wow, how?
Captain Cold.
Why? Yes, Captain Cold is my favorite.
At least the DC shows are self-aware.
Yeah.
Whereas Marvel's just nah, it's okay.
The more self-aware show is, the more I absolutely love that show. If it can point at itself and just kind of laugh, but not do in a way of hey, we suck, we're gonna keep sucking, but instead of a way of oh, we suck, but just I don't know, just different ways of doing it. And
Community does that a little bit. They're self-aware.
I love Community. Abed in Community is one of the greatest, the most well-written TV characters ever. Because for those of you who haven't seen Community has its ups and downs or whatever. And there's a character, Abed, who will always say exactly what the audience is feeling about something. Towards one of the last seasons, a bunch of the audience favorite characters from early seasons had left, moved on to other projects. And Abed won this whole monologue about how characters keep leaving or whatever, and people are oh, is it going to stay the same or whatever, and the scope of it being a TV show, because he's really meta about that. And it was so well done. Mm-hmm. It was so well done. I love Community so much.
Abed is the most self-aware.
Hoping we get the movie still, but yeah.
Abed is the most self-aware character on TV, or was on TV. That was on TV. I mean,
yes.
That's his whole character, though. But maybe that's something we should do next time, or another time, is rank our favorite Community episodes, because best and favorite are almost never the same.
I would love to do that next podcast. Community podcast.
Yep.
I mean, we gotta talk about Primer after I watch that.
Well, and then we gotta figure things out until we hit the Star Wars holiday special.
Oh yeah.
Right, countdown to Christmas.
Yes, because
nothing says 2020 more like counting down to Christmas with the worst movie ever made.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I cannot wait for Christmas Day. I'm just gonna have the Star Wars holiday special looping in the background the entire time. Just set the right atmosphere for it, with this being 2020.
Maybe doing that would correct 2020, because Jesus, make it stop.
Mm-hmm.
Make the Star Wars Christmas special stop.
Yes, it's
all right. So
many insane pieces of media. Pixar.
Yeah. So in honor of Soul coming out in 2 months, we're gonna rank our favorite Pixar movies, top 5 Pixar movies. At first, I was we should rank them all, but then I was there's a lot of movies, so we're not.
There is a lot of movies. I was scrolling through in preparation before, and I was there's a lot of movies. I didn't realize that Toy Story was one of Pixar's first movies. I think it was the first.
Their
movie.
First, yeah.
Yeah, that's.
The first Pixar
incredible.
movie.
That's the first one I saw.
No, that was a different movie.
When I was
incredible.
Oh yeah.
But there's 22 movies, which, I mean, if you look at it, oh no, there's more than that. This is from 2015. No, yeah, no, okay. But if you look at it, they started. I don't remember when. It's maybe 2012, 2013. They started doing 2 movies a year instead of the 1 movie a year, and so I guess they're still doing that because the Onward came out this year.
Yes, Onward was fantastic. I really enjoyed Onward. No spoilers for my list, which I've definitely prepared and will not be coming up with on the fly as I'm being asked questions.
Okay, that's the only one that we can do non-spoiler. If you haven't seen any other Pixar movie, you're either a child or living under a rock and don't have YouTube, so it's not going to matter if you're listening to this or not.
This is true. I'm not gonna. Yeah.
So
Onward.
don't.
Onward is on
Onward
Disney
is in
Plus.
yes,
Onward
all of them
is
are.
on Disney Plus. Yeah. But Onward is special because, like, it's like a recent movie, but it's kind of been on Disney Plus for a long while. So
because of the pandemic.
Yes, exactly.
But yeah, so if you hear a movie, it's like, oh, I haven't seen that. Pause this, go watch it, come back. You are dedicating your time and effort to this podcast. You five, the five.
If you have not seen any Pixar movie, this podcast will take you like 27 hours to get through.
Years
to watch. As soon as you name a Pixar movie, you have to pause it and watch the entire movie right then.
Yeah, well, I'll name the movie and then I'll wait a second, and then we'll talk about it. Because then you'll be like, all right, pause, let's go. So that's not you don't even hear a lick of a spoiler.
Because this is like a drinking game. You know how in drinking games you like if it's like every time someone says this, you like take a shot, and then like at the end of it you just die. This is like that.
That would have been last episode with Mark Hamill.
Yeah, this is like that, but it's like every time you name a Pixar movie, you watch that Pixar movie until you die. There's just a lot of it. It's going to take you the rest of your natural life. Just every time you name anything, watch that entire thing.
Again, 22.
Pausing and coming back.
22 episodes, but thank God we're only doing 5 because you only got to do maybe 10 if our top 5 are that different, which I doubt they will be. But who knows? There's 22 movies. There's a lot of, I don't want to do the math for that, but there's a lot of combinations possible for that. So
I do not remember how to do the math. I knew how to do that math at some point, but
there's an explanation point at somewhere in there.
Yeah, probably. If I have that on my calculator keyboard. Let me pull that up. Is there an exclamation mark here? Yes, there actually is. Hold on, I'm gonna do 22 exclamation mark. That's a big number there.
Yeah, I bet it is. But that's just any combination. Or that's 22 times 21 times 20 times 19, etc.
I do not know how to read off that number. It is a 1 with 21 zeros after it.
Well, it'd be septillion, right? Because a million
that sounds right, yes.
A million, or maybe. No, a million is 6 zeros.
And because trillion has like 12?
Yeah.
So
it's less than that.
So wait, so it's 12. So what's 21 minus 12? That's like 9, right? Yeah. So 9 more than 3 is 12. So it's dodecatillion?
Sure.
Dodecatillion. 1 dodecatillion.
I don't think it.
Totally wrong.
No, that's wrong. Because there's 9 more zeros, so 6. You said a trillion.
3 more.
So quintillion.
Sorry, it's only 3 more sets of. Wait, it's 4 more sets of zeros.
It's sextillion.
I used to be smart. I promise you guys. I was at the top of my class in high school. I finished NC State with honors, whatever. The past several months have destroyed my brain.
I have yet to finish college. Okay. I was like 60th in my class in high school. I've yet to finish college, and well, first off, he's younger than me, so it's even weirder. But
yeah.
I mean, what was the other? Oh, I have a 3.0, so at least I have that going for me. You hear that, companies that want to hire me after talking about Mark Hamill 54 times in a row? Anyway.
You hear that, companies that want to hire me now, please hire me. I actually got an interview. Last week. And nice. and then like the company was like, oh, like we'll contact you if like we want to move forward, and then they were like no.
Radio silence.
So yeah, so I still have some other outstanding things. So hopefully something arises soonish. I'm gonna keep sending out applications, staying in contact with companies, sending all those follow-up emails, being like, "Hey, please."
You're in the same
But
situation as Steven,
yeah,
but
yeah.
neither you or Steven are part of Pixar. So let's stop getting off track. The both of us.
Oh yes, except for
Except
people
for
who work in like storytelling and stuff. Most likely majored in humanities, which is cool because I also majored in humanities, which was a great choice for like just me then, and I still really like my major. But also, if you don't major in hard science right now, like for a very specific job, it's really hard to get a job right now, which is.
Wait, did you double major and graduate early?
No.
Oh, okay.
I had a major and a minor, and I was able to kind of condense it all into like a 3-year timeline, which was
at NC State.
Crazy. But I had a lot of fun. I just really would like a job now, but also I kind of need time to still unwind my brain. But I think I've unwound it a little too much because I have a podcast now. This one right here. So anyway, Pixar. Let's get into it.
All right. So do you want to go 1 to 5 or 5 to 1?
5 to 1. Let's build up to our favorites.
Okay. So you're going to go first because I thought of the idea. So what is your 5th favorite Pixar movie?
Okay, let me
and why, of course. Oh no, he's gone.
List again fast.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, where did my list go? Here's my list. Am I gone? Am I back?
Yeah, you're good.
Everything with the internet still good? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. That's 1, okay, 2, 3. Okay, perfect. So I do have my 5 all squared away. Where'd they go? Here we go. So I think my 5th favorite one is none other than WALL-E.
No, I'm kidding. Wait, that's my name.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, why do you like WALL-E?
It was one of the, I still remember the first time I saw it. I was at a party at someone's house.
You did do that a lot.
Talking about like parties now, in the middle of a Mark-hamdemic when we're not allowed to go to parties. I'm sorry for teasing all of you guys.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant you saw this at a party during the Mark-hamdemic. I was like, what are you doing?
No.
First off, why? Not. Why did it take you so long? It came out 13 years ago.
Yes, the first time I saw
what are you doing at a party?
Yeah, no. I'm so sorry for teasing everyone with like hope of that. It's been so long. But yeah, it was it was a party when I was very young. And it was on. I was like, "What is this movie with like robots and garbage?" And I was very intrigued by it. And I watched it, and I was like, "This is so good." It's really unique, just because it's like the first like however long, the first huge chunk of the movie. There's like no dialogue at all. It's a robot making robot noises and boxing up trash.
And he had a pet friend cockroach.
Yes.
Oh, hold on. That reminds me of something. That's actually really funny. You keep talking while I'll be right back.
Okay. I will keep talking to all of our eager listeners here. But I just really liked the movie because of its bold like message of trash is bad.
Trash is bad.
I really like the love story between like the two robots. It was just it's like uniqueness apart from everything else is what ranks it above, I guess, 16 other Pixar movies.
Okay.
Other ones like Cars was all right, Toy Story was all right. I like those movies, but like WALL-E really holds a special place
in your heart,
my heart, and the movie too.
Thank you. Okay, so you know how WALL-E is a robot in the movie with friends with an organic cockroach?
Yes.
Well, absolutely. I'm an organic WALL-E, and I'm friends with a robot cockroach.
That is fantastic.
Right? It is literally perfection. Now I need to marry a girl named Eve, and we're all set.
Perfect. This is like the anti movie. This is this is the complete opposite.
We're all trapped on Earth because people can't throw away the garbage or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, actually, the anti that would be we're all trapped on Earth because people can throw away their garbage, which is not true. Because disposable masks are all over the place.
Or because they throw their garbage in space, which who knows? This could be the next step. This could be the next genius. I cannot wait till Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk is like, hey, let's throw our garbage in space.
It'll be Elon Musk. We all know that.
It'll absolutely be Elon Musk.
I like WALL-E. It's a good movie. But my entire life, at least up until like high school, and a little bit now, but not as much, whenever someone, especially the first day of school, it'd be like, all right, oh, they'd say my name and be like, I go by Wally, and they're like, huh, Wally. I'm like, My 7th grade science teacher always did. I'd walk in there and Wally. I'm like, please, no.
Yeah, it's like because I know that there are kids who will like share a name with some kind of famous person or character or whatever, and then there's some people like that, like, oh, you're named this, like this, but like sharing the name with like a fictional robot from the future,
That
that's
says
like,
Wally.
yeah, that's that is top tier.
I know. A lot of people were like, oh, were you named after the movie? I'm like, okay, so the movie came out 3 years ago. I've been alive for 11.
My parents are time travelers, very invested in the movie Wall-E.
Yes, exactly. Or I guess it'd be more than 11, but
and they
whatever.
also confuse their E's with Y's.
Yes, exactly. And I just know Dot. That's just something we had to blend in from the future.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But,
See, you should just waited till like this past year, and then with Elon Musk's child named, I do not know how to pronounce
XAE thing,
then,
12.
Then like the dot right there in your name, it would have been ordinary. No one would have even.
I know no one wouldn't have even given it a second. I think that's my name on TikTok, because I was just like, enough people were posting about Wall-E. I was like, hold on, that's me. And then they'd be like, but no one ever commented back. Anyway,
I also liked how in the movie there was a little bit of world building there, where they had like the Wall-Es and also like the Wall-A's, which were like large robots that made bigger, and it was named Wall because they made walls of garbage.
Did not know that part. So Brendan's computer decided to update itself, so we'll be back shortly. He hath returned.
There we go. I'm back. Hello. What is up?
I'm gonna edit the minute I was talking to no one.
Okay.
So sounds that because the audio medium does not sound good when just talking to nobody. I mean, that's what my other podcast is, and that's why I've only made 4 episodes in 2 years.
Yeah, this is my sole purpose here. This is my role, to just be here, existing, occasionally saying yes a lot in the background, rarely, occasionally throwing in my own ideas, my own top 5 Pixar films lists, or at least number 5, and then leaving because my computer decided to crash.
So I guess it's my turn to do number 5. Now that you're back.
Yeah. See, I was just talking about Wall-E, talking about how what a great robot it is, and my computer got jealous, so decided to just cut everything off.
Your computer's like, no, I will not accept that you like another robot more than myself, and just said, absolutely. Whoops, looks like I turned off.
But now I'm back. Some update has been installed, so hopefully that means no more crashing.
Hopefully, just don't badmouth your computer.
Absolutely, I regret everything. What is your 5th favorite Pixar film?
My 5th favorite Pixar film is no one else's any favorite Pixar film, and that's The Good Dinosaur. And that is solely for the reason that I waited. It was supposed to come out in 2012 or something, and I was so excited. And then there were director changes and script changes and this, that, and the other, and kind of like the Justice League. Except people didn't know about this movie. And when it finally came out in 2015, I was so excited to go see it. I got there, and I was like, this isn't great, but I love it because of how long I waited for it, and the general theme of, you don't have to be that family to be that family, because, I mean, as someone who's adopted, I'm not blood related to the family I am in, but I love them to death, and you don't have to be family to be family, So, I love The Good Dinosaur, and that would be my number 5, and that's why.
Awesome.
And my computer also won't get jealous because I'm talking about, ancient things.
Exactly. Unless you have a really old, outdated computer, then it is also a dinosaur, and
you like the
jealous there.
Like if they did the Flintstones, but now, they had a computer run by a canary or something like that, and a little wheel. Yeah. No, I don't have one of those. So
All right.
Good to go.
I guess it's time for my number 4.
No, you're number 4. Mm-hmm.
Yep, my number 4 is Up.
Up. I like that movie.
Yes.
Really good music in that movie.
Oh yeah, it's number 4 because I don't think anything has made me ever quite as sad as like the first couple minutes of Up, watching that as a child, because I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, because you pop in like an animated movie as a kid, you expect it to be kind of like fun or whatever,
Right.
and that was like,
and that's before
that
you're
was
supposed.
rough.
That was before, because toxic masculinity was still a thing when you're little. That was before we were allowed to have emotions. So like we couldn't cry at it, but like we're sitting here like,
Oh yeah,
I'm
no,
not crying.
I was just full out. Like actually, I don't remember then exactly. I just remember that I was sad, but I imagine I was just bawling my my eyes. I don't know what year it got released. What year did Up get released?
2009.
2009. So I was like I was about 10 years old. Wow, that's
Well, it came out in
actually
2008. Sorry. Whatever.
Oh yeah, it did. Oh right.
I said 2007. It's whatever.
Okay, what year did it? Because I just saw 2009.
Oh no. That was Wall-E came out 2008.
Oh okay.
Up came out 2009. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
What a good 2 years of movies for Pixar.
Yes. Yeah. So I was like, however old then, but yeah, it was extremely sad. That was like before anything really bad had happened in my life. Actually, I don't remember if I saw it. No, I probably saw it after it came out. So maybe that was after all the bad stuff that happened. My childhood was all kinds of chaos. But I was like, man, this is a sad movie. But it's really well done. Just the quality of it consistently throughout. It was really good.
And it's not like a played out like type of movie, you know. It's like a new concept, you know.
Yeah, tropes or anything like that. I mean, like that kind of movie those don't happen a lot. I mean, they kind of happen to more of an extent now that
they don't have ideas anymore.
Yeah, that companies are like, hey, look at this successful movie from like all those years ago there.
Oh God, I hope they don't remake that movie. I swear, if they remake Up into a live action movie, I'm gonna throw hands.
Mm-hmm. Where they just animate the bird and the dog so much, just an obnoxious amount of animation. They animate everything.
Can't do it.
Like Lion,
good movie, though. Yeah.
Like the worst parts of Lion King and like Beauty and the Beast and Aladdin, just all of that in it.
So my 4th favorite movie, is Coco.
Ooh, that's one I still haven't seen. I still haven't seen that one.
Really?
That one's that one's not one that I'm considering on my list because I just haven't seen it. That's one that I've heard a lot of good things about, so I need to watch that.
I will not spoil it for you.
For all you hardcore like Coco fans out there who are like, why isn't Brennan putting it on his list? I haven't seen it, so that's why.
Yeah, again, it kind of goes back to the themes of family, and you know, it connected with me in my Latino culture, even though one, I'm adopted by white people, and two, I don't have that kind of family because, again, adopted, and I'm not Mexican, but Guatemalans still celebrate Dia de los Muertos, and just to see that from a cultural perspective, it's just a great movie.
Yeah, absolutely.
I cried when he sang "Recuérdame" to his grandmother. That touched me a lot because my grandma has passed away 17 years ago. So,
oh, wow.
Yeah, and we saw it around Christmas time when she passed away all those years ago. So, it pulled so many heartstrings that I could relate to it in a lot of different ways. So, I just love that movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sweet. That brings me to number 3, to my 3rd favorite. My 3rd favorite would have to be Inside-Out.
Really?
Yes. Wow. I really enjoyed like Inside-Out. It takes place in the brain or whatever. It's literally just a movie about
inside.
Your brain being controlled by these little creatures or whatever, and they're representing your emotions. So you'd expect it to kind of be like, just like fluff, non-scientific, like just animated kids fluff. It's actually really scientific with how it presents things. Like,
is it?
Some of it talks about is actually based on like real theories in psychology about how the brain works. Like even the emotions they use, they selected those specific emotions because
you're saying it's scientifically possible, it's scientifically real that there are little tiny people inside our brains.
absolutely.
Oh yes, I did that thing called misconstruing information.
Yeah, no, but just because
Podcast doctor confirms little people are controlling us.
Yes, this is all factual. This is now fact.
Because you said it on YouTube.
Yeah. Yeah, because like with like the 5 emotions that like they used, those were because like there are 6 like universal emotions that after tons of research in the scientific community, they came upon these 6 emotions that are shared across every culture. The 6th one that isn't included is being like that of surprise. But I actually saw in an interview that actually the original draft of Inside Out had 6 emotions, and the 6th one was surprise.
Okay.
So it like that, it's tied in all that, and there was like more stuff where they would just like all these throwaway gags and stuff about other parts of the brain, all really accurate with how those parts of the brain like actually work. Not all of them, cool. Obviously, a lot of them were just jokes.
Right.
But so for that reason, it's just a fun watch as a psychology major, getting to like kind of look at all that, and just like the overall story of like, you know, a lot of kids things are like, oh, when you're happy you're good, when you're sad things are like bad, but this was like, you know, like it's the importance of being sad as like growing as like a person, developing, realizing things, and how like, you know, it's not someone like, oh, you're happy or oh, you're sad, but emotions can be mixed in around all the time, which is a very important lesson for like young kids to know and be aware of. So for that reason, it's number 3.
It doesn't throw, oh, kids are dumb, they won't really get this, but you know, it shows them like a more adult side of things, and I think it's good. I think that's like one of the few movies where like I'd be okay with a sequel, because there are lots of Pixar movies that have sequels that probably should not. I think if they went with like, what's the girl's name, Riley?
Yep.
I think if they explored something like that, it might be a little too dark if they did like mental illness and stuff like that. But I think it'd be an interesting thing for them to do.
Yeah,
but
I'm not sure
they won't because it's Disney. But
yeah, I don't know where they would go with a sequel if like they chose to do one, especially because if they do stick with Riley, she's becoming like a teenager and stuff now, and emotions are all over the place there. So I mean, they would have a lot to do, but like with being inside a teenager's mind, you know, it's kind of like it's not somewhere that you want to be a lot of the time.
That's true.
And
great cast
and also, yeah, fantastic cast. One of my favorite parts of the movie was like at the very end, where it's like a cat chasing a dog. Oh yeah, sorry, spoiler alert. This is very important plot central stuff here. There's a cat chasing a dog, and it goes inside their heads. It was this would be 5 little dogs and the 5 little cats, and it was.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, yeah, the ending was cool there. Yeah. So I guess it's my 3rd favorite movie time.
Yep. What is your 3rd favorite?
My 3rd favorite movie, we get into the classics, is The Incredibles. I love that movie, and I love the sequel. Like, if we were to go up, the 6 would probably be Incredibles 2, because I really like that. Did you see that with us? I can't remember.
I don't know if I saw it with you
all. Steven was there.
I have seen. I'm trying to remember where I saw it now.
I think Will was with us, because I think he slept through the movie, like he does all the time. Whenever we go to the movie, he sleeps through it, and he knows it, so he's okay.
The last movie I remember seeing with you guys was the Lego Ninjago movie, and I
was not there for that.
You weren't there?
No, because that's like Tam died.
That was yeah.
I think that was it Jaeger or was it Colton?
Tam stuff. It was me, Colton, Matt, and there was one more. Maybe it was Steven.
Maybe, but that was the night Tam died.
Yeah. Tam no longer existed after that night. It was
not
so
dying.
Emotionally taxing.
Out of existence. He Thanos himself.
Yep.
After watching the Lego Ninjago movie.
Yes, that's a story for a different day, though.
So, my 3rd, is it 3rd? Yeah. Oh, Incredibles.
Yeah.
The Incredibles is exactly what its name is. The storyline's great, and it didn't go like into like all the traditional tropes of superhero movies. I don't think it redefined the genre, but obviously not. But it definitely. I don't know. I can't describe it other than it's just a really good movie.
One of the things that I really liked about that movie, because it came out long before superheroes were like or like in the mainstream.
Not possible, yeah, or not possible, but
yeah, because like I don't know what year it was released, but it was released like early 2000s, right?
2004. So the X-Men were underway.
Yeah. So the X-Men were kind of there, but like that was like niche, like nerd culture type movies almost.
I think the first Spider-Man was out.
Didn't even start. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Spider-Man was also out, so that was kind of like the big superhero thing. Besides those 2 installments, that was it. It was years before the MCU started, and superheroes became mainstream. So it was kind of taking like a leap there. It wasn't anything that like they knew would work, anything that was proven. They just wanted to do it, so they did it, and it ended up being a huge success. So yeah,
it was really good. And this, like I said, the sequel is also really amazing. But this is top 5, not top 6, and this is number 3, not number 6. And the filler was really good. I liked, no matter, even if he was really dumb. I can't remember his name.
Oh yeah,
Wonder Boy. No, he was Wonder Boy, but then he became someone else.
I have no idea.
It's been a while.
Absolutely no idea.
But yeah, and then just this, even for the time, like even for Pixar, like the animation in it was amazing, with all the action scenes and stuff, which was really before like all the good CGI. So, as we saw in the Star Wars, the prequels, the terrible CGI.
My number 2 favorite Pixar movie of all time, the absolute classic Ratatouille.
I love that movie.
Love Ratatouille. That was such an incredible movie about, it's like everyone's everyday experiences
being controlled by a rat,
having a rat crawl up in their hat and making them cook.
I mean, Dr. Doofenshmirtz knows about that. He had records on his fingers because there's a platypus controlling him.
Absolutely, yeah. It's just the classic trope of animals
controlling
dudes wearing like either lab coats or chef's clothes,
wearing long white clothing.
Exactly.
Yep, with black pants.
Yes. The very specific yet incredibly prevalent trope of that occurring. I love the storyline. I love the message of like anyone can cook, but not everyone can cook. Just like
everyone can cook, but not everyone should cook.
Yeah. Basically, it was such a neat idea. That's where I really love like these niche ideas where it's like, where did this come from? Who walked into like a boardroom and it was like,
rat controlling chef, let's go.
Yeah.
And I like how in the movie, none of the characters were unnecessary and nothing seemed forced.
Yeah, exactly.
Because a lot of times,
so natural, everything made sense.
Because a lot of it's like really like a confined space. You can't really have too many characters in a kitchen. And the actors were great, and the best part about Ratatouille is that the trailer gave away absolutely nothing.
Oh, yeah?
I don't even think the trailer, like the scene from the trailer, was in the actual movie.
Oh, interesting.
I think it was one of those switches, but I love that movie. That's actually my number 1, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. Well, spoiler alert.
Yeah. Sorry, I should have put that before. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But my number 2 favorite Pixar movie. A whole different. Everyone would be just absolutely shocked and in awe if I actually said my favorite movies, which may be
Star Wars Christmas special,
of course. Which might be an idea for 2 in the future, 2 podcasts in the future.
Sounds good.
But my second favorite Pixar movie of all time is again a classic, Monsters Inc.
Yes, that was
I love
excellent
Monsters Inc. Again, another thing where like none of the characters seemed too unnecessary. Maybe except the guy who kept getting the 2319. He didn't really add much to the plot.
Oh, all right.
But he was funny. So,
I need to rewatch the one. I haven't seen that one in like a long while.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
And I never saw Monsters like University either. Like, don't. Okay.
Don't.
Yeah,
it's horrible. I was just about to say that's so bad.
Yeah. No, it's okay.
One of those.
Okay. Well, I will not watch it then.
I mean, watch it. Just all right. Just watch it because
it's just bad.
It's just bad.
I'll watch it. Yes.
Yeah. Just Monsters Inc. was just such a classic, and the Monsters University was just like, I swear, in my opinion, it was the worst Pixar movie. Monsters University is awful. Granted, my fifth favorite is The Good Dinosaur. So really, what leg do I have to stand on?
And Monsters University is like a prequel, right?
Yes.
Okay, so what I may end up doing is just watching Monsters University first, getting it out of the way, and watching Monsters Inc. to remind me that it is good.
Yes,
and like
that's exactly what you do. Because then you go and it's like you watch the first one, you're like, oh, you watch Monsters University, like, okay, that was all right. Then you watch Monsters University, nope, that. Then you watch Monsters Inc. And you're like, wow, Monsters University was complete garbage. Like I think most rating things have that and Cars 2 as like the worst two Pixar movies.
Yeah, I did not like Cars 2.
Cars 2 was unnecessary.
Weird. It was like
planes.
Weird.
It's like planes, completely unnecessary.
I forgot about planes.
But not Pixar. Wow. But yes, they exist. They're in the whole grand Cars universe.
Yeah.
But
very strange choices. Very strange choices.
But yeah, Monsters Inc. I don't really know. I don't have to go into why it's so good. I think everyone appreciates Monsters Inc.
Yeah, it's like a Monsters
came
Inc.
out 19
Toy Story
years
and
ago.
Cars are ones that like everybody knows.
Next year, it's the 20th anniversary of Monsters Inc.
Oh wow!
I know, it's crazy. Crazy. All right. So what's your all-time favorite Pixar movie?
Number one. This is for you listeners. This may not surprise you because I did mention it slightly earlier, but it's actually 2020's Onward.
Really?
I actually really liked Onward a lot.
Wow, you have a lot of new movies in there. Or newer movies. Because I think the classics are just like a given at this point.
Oh yeah, like absolutely. I mean, there are a lot of ones I like. There would have been like 6, 7, 8, all that. But I really enjoyed Onward for like just it's kind of a unique take on the kind of story it was telling because there's a twist at the very end with like because the main character is trying to get one thing, but then at the very end there's a little bit of a twist there between like him and his brother, and it's so well done. Like it's hard
to explain without giving it away.
Yeah, exactly. But I really enjoyed it. I really loved how it was kind of like this quest, this like mythic quest. Basically, it took a lot of elements from the Dungeons and Dragons type category of game, which I've come to really enjoy. Dungeons and Dragons,
but in like the modern
after like hearing about it in college and then playing it a lot in college.
Everyone did that, I think. At least most people did that, I think. Yes. It's either Party or Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, one of either. I definitely went down the Dungeons and Dragon road a couple times in college.
Yeah, college started off partying and stuff, and I was like, you know what? Dungeons and Dragons. Like so much over there. And no regrets. But yeah, a lot of elements of like those types of games, but like you said, it was like in the modern world, kind of a mix with that and like technology and everything. So I really liked because like when like you're watching like kids stuff, like animated stuff, there's a lot of like things often you can kind of like see twists coming, expect them. But that movie, like it just kind of kept me on my toes with like things that it was like there was some stuff, of course, I was like, oh yeah, this will happen. There's a lot of stuff where I was like, wow, I honestly did not expect that. And the overall kind of story it tells with like family and like
how the importance of like, being brothers. I like that theme in that movie a lot. Yeah. Which I think we talked about last time.
I really enjoyed.
I think this is the second straight episode we have talked about Onward.
Oh yeah, do we?
Yeah, I think we mentioned last time with Soul.
Yeah, we did mention it. Yeah. Briefly.
It's a good movie. I really enjoyed it. It probably I don't know if it'd be my top 10, but it's I have to see it again. I have to watch it again, which I might do tonight because I got nothing better to do. Oh no, I got to wake up early tomorrow. I have class. Tomorrow.
Tragic.
But no, it's a great movie. It's hard to go wrong with Pixar. They've done it a couple times. See Cars 2 and the Monsters University. I didn't like Finding Dory that much either, but that's just me.
I thought it was like all right. Like I didn't really think of it like as a sequel because it kind of told a completely different story with the same
similar characters, or the same characters. I guess
they just kind of switched who the main character was.
Right.
So like I liked it as a movie, but not something that I would like go and rewatch a whole lot.
Right. I guess maybe because I associate it with Finding Nemo is why I don't like it as much. But if I just kind of looked at it as Finding Dory instead of the sequel to Finding Nemo, maybe I like it more.
Yeah.
But
Anyway,
I've already said my favorite.
Yeah. There's been no.
So
You haven't said it. You haven't said anything. This is unspoiled.
Okay. All right.
We are changing that. It's still going to be in the podcast, but just if you're listening, pretend you didn't hear what his favorite movie was. And now,
real quick on the Onward thing, great cast as well. Great cast there.
Oh yeah.
Tom Holland and Chris Pratt.
Great actors. Them kind of paired together again in a completely like different way.
Is Tom Holland allowed to use his British accent anymore? He's British. Like, he's not even from the United States.
It's so, because seeing like interviews with him where he just talks like, how he normally talks with his accent's like totally different. And the fact that, like, everything I've seen him in recently is just he's had his American accent.
Even in Spies in Disguise, Will Smith, like, he doesn't have an accent. Like, is anyone ever going to let him use his normal voice? Like, it's
like his American accent just become his like branding now or whatever. America has be like, who is this kid? His British accent.
America has colonized Tom Holland.
Oh yeah. Tragic. Just put it on the long list of America's like failures, mistakes, whatever.
I don't know if that's a mistake though. Tom Holland's British. Tom Holland's good though. Like, he's got a good American accent.
Yeah. But
it's
not
weird
allowing
that they don't
him
let him
to be
British. True.
That is the mistake.
There we go.
To allow him to.
British Spider-Man. Damn it.
I want in like Spider-Man 3 in the MCU just kind of taking like just like a quick
another minor detour.
Yeah. Just a quick detour. I just want where he's in the last episode, in the last movie, he was accused of being Spider-Man. I just want I want his defense to be like, I can't be Spider-Man. I'm actually British. And he just spends the entire movie just talking with a British accent. Problem solved. Everything's fixed.
He should redub
British Tom Holland.
First two movies. Like redo it, but like have him speaking in his regular accent and switch the titles of the switch the titles of the movies, because he's from England where Far From Home takes place, and instead of New York where Homecoming takes place. Switch them.
Or just with like the multiverse, just have another Spider-Man come from the multiverse that is Tom Holland, but he's British. And his experiences are like swapped, where he was like, no, I fought the Vulture or whatever in England. And then the US is almost destroyed by some crazy guy with special effects
on the Brooklyn Bridge. Yep, that's what happened.
So your
back to
Pixar
back to
the actual game we're playing.
My favorite Pixar movie is I forgot to hit record.
Do you actually forget to?
No, that would have been funny though.
Oh my goodness!
No, I hit record right before you got in.
Okay. I was like,
can you imagine?
I was like, I mean, this has been fun, but this is all just like, so it's like, oh, hold on, just start
podcast over.
So the way back over. Hey, Brendan, just go back to like number 4 again. We'll have to redo this entire thing.
Podcast over. I mean, like that would be the end of the chip roasting.
Oh yeah.
But anyway,
we're no longer roasting any chips. Every chip has been roasted. We're done. Number 1 favorite Pixar movie
of all time.
Of all time. This is the objective truth. Anything I
my
say.
Favorite. My favorite. Like, it's mine, not yours.
All right.
Yours, you've already said yours. This is distinct. This is facts for me.
If anyone else,
for me.
Anyone else listening to this podcast has the same favorite Pixar movie, you can no longer have that movie. This is only his.
Exactly. This movie is mine.
Yes.
It's
perfect.
It's Ratatouille.
Ratatouille. I did not see that
I know.
Was so unexpected.
I know. I mean, it was only your second favorite, but.
Oh yeah, I expected your favorite to be Cars 2.
No, it's Monsters University, but
No, it's Monsters University. Cars University.
As we previously Cars University. I like it. No, but as we said earlier, it's just a great movie. Like the characters are great, the settings are great, great lessons. You got that weird, tall, thin food critic who tasted the rat's ratatouille, and went back to his childhood.
I love
Was that good?
So much. Yeah. Like
What's
all the
his
characters in
name?
there
I
are
don't remember.
so iconic. You have him, you have like the head chef, you have the dude who is like, I killed a man with this
Oh
thumb. Like,
yeah,
yeah, like
forgot about
all
that
of
guy.
those lines.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
all so like memorable. Even like the old woman from like or whatever from like the opening scene where all the rats like fall
Mm-hmm.
through the ceiling. It's like all the events are just so memorable there. There's not like a dull
No.
moment.
Um, and it's just yeah, everything's great in that movie.
Yeah. What more needs to be said? I mean, it's Ratatouille.
It's a movie about a rat who can cook, but only because he can. Well, I guess he cooks before, but then he's got to use the guy's hand because it's a rat's paws. It's been all over the
Absolutely.
streets of
Yeah.
France. When does that
No
movie
one
take
wants to
place?
eat.
I've always wondered that.
I don't know if it takes place during like a certain time or just one of those like
It takes place now, but not now.
anachronistic movies or whatever the word is, where it just kind of like, it just happens.
I would know the word. I'm an engineer. I don't know words.
Yeah.
I barely spell engineer.
Yeah. If majoring in humanities taught me one thing, it's words. Occasionally words.
The occasional word or two.
Yes, yeah. But I love the movie. Yeah, with like the rat whose name is Remy, not Ratatouille. Everyone always calls him like, oh, Ratatouille, and it's like, no.
You know they're opening a Ratatouille ride at Disney.
Oh yeah. Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I need to go ride that once the pandemic is over. Not the pandemic. Sorry.
You can say it. You can say it just as long as you don't mention like what pandemic it is or
the Mark-pandemic pandemic.
Exactly. No, I'd
be excited to go and ride that though. Oops.
There's a point of view of the French version on YouTube. So if you want spoilers, you can go watch it. If you don't, then don't. I mean, it's that simple.
No.
Don't.
Sounds good.
It goes the same for everyone else. So like, go watch Ratatouille, then go watch the POV of the ride, Ratatouille, and then come back.
Watch things unless you don't want to watch those things. In which case, don't watch those things.
Yeah, we can't make you do it. Mm-hmm. We just are suggesting you do, and if you haven't seen the movie.
Except for the Star Wars Christmas special, we can and will make you watch the Star Wars Christmas special.
That's true. We will make you watch it because it will be on the podcast.
Mm-hmm. But there we go. There are official top 5 Pixar film lists
from me and Brennan.
Mm-hmm.
You guys can have your own. That's allowed.
Yes,
unless Brennan says no.
Allowed for the time being.
Right.
I personally reserve the right to revoke your right to have your own lists at any time.
Okay, cool, awesome. Mm-hmm. That's a good thing that's good for them to know, because one day they could just be chilling and be like, yeah, man, I really love cars, and then you just appear and it's like, actually, you love Onward, and they're like, you know what, you're right, I do.
I'll just like kick down the door to their house. I'll be like, I know you have your own. Like, actually, I'll be like, you haven't decided on your own personal list yet, so you can't have one now. It's revoked.
It's like, so I don't like that movie. Nope, you like Onward.
You have no preferences except for the preferences I tell you to have. Yeah, exactly.
Never seen it, but I love it.
But you can't have Ratatouille as your number one, because that's Wally's number one.
It's got to be your number 2. Mm-hmm. I would like it as yours. I mean, so if it can't be, since it can't be they're number 1. And since you're enforcing your list on everyone else, it's going to be their number 2. So it just works for everyone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's
there we go.
The perfect
plan.
I don't know if I can call it. I don't know if it's more of a plan, more of just kind of like a loose.
Plot.
Yeah, sure.
It's a perfect plot.
Perfect. Idea.
Before we sign off, I think
yes,
I got a couple things to say about Pixar movies in general, or maybe Cars 3 I liked, never necessary, but it was the exact same as the first one, kind of like a Star Wars movie. We know. I didn't think it was necessary. Toy Story 4, completely unnecessary.
Toy Story 4 was weird.
I didn't care for it.
Yeah, because it's like it was a good movie that continued the stories, but it's like, did you need to continue the stories? Like, there was a clear ending there. You didn't need to. I mean, you did, and you did it well, but Why?
And Woody went against the bro code. Bros before hoes is the number one rule. And he was like, nope, sorry. Can't do that for you, Chief. And he left Buzz. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
But it's been...
all the spoilers.
It's been
also
a
drew
year.
so many things into question.
I cannot last year.
The fork, the trash fork. It's like, is anything a toy? Does
Forky
anything
was
have
the
potential to be
best.
life?
Forky was the best.
Yeah, so many philosophical questions.
Though. No Forky slander is allowed on this channel.
I loved Forky.
Okay.
He was fantastic.
You're just like me.
What does it mean?
Trash.
Yeah. Just imagine if you put googly eyes on like anything, all of a sudden it becomes alive.
Like, I think that means the statue that's in one of the courtyards at Unity Charlotte should be alive.
Toy Story, like the Toy Story franchise and the the Night at the Museum franchise take place in the same universe. Change my mind.
Well, I mean, it's probably been connected in the Simon Cowell cinematic universe, so probably. I still gotta send you that video of the Simon Cowell cinematic universe.
Yeah,
connects all of the movies.
All movies should be connected. All movies take place in the exact same
Simon Cowell cinematic universe.
The world has ended countless times. In all the movies where the world has ended. It's just ended in all of them.
Yep. What else was I gonna say? Bugs Life, often forgotten.
Yep.
Because Ants came out around the same time.
Ants, yeah, I was about to say.
I actually saw something about that. It's like, what's better, Bugs Life or Ants? And I was like, well, I've never seen Ants, so Bugs Life. But do you have an answer to that question? Have you seen Ants?
I also do not know. I don't believe I've seen Ants. Maybe I have. I saw Bugs Life once a long time ago. Did not stick with me. I was just like, cool, a movie. Now it's
the Pixar movie of my year. So the Pixar movie of your year was Toy Story 2. Yeah,
like you know the Chinese New Year's or whatever, where there are all these like the animals or whatever.
Yeah.
This is like
Pixar New Year.
This is like the Pixar New Year calendar, whatever.
Yep.
This is more important than like horoscopes. Pixar movie?
Horoscopes have been proved. Carl Sagan once proved that horoscopes were incorrect, and all that. All the was it astrology? Astronomy is the real one. Astrology is not. But yeah, Carl Sagan and his thing. I think it's called the Cosmos. He's like, yeah, so that makes no sense. That's stupid.
Interesting.
And here's some science to back it up.
Interesting. I always like things like.
But if you're into that,
horoscopes and the Myers-Briggs,
you do you,
because both of those things are like not factual at all. At least horoscopes, a lot of people know that they're not factual. Myers-Briggs,
but they still go. But they still go by their. They still live their life by them.
Oh yeah.
It's almost like when you read something, it influences something to do it.
There are tons of people who were just like, like they're like my MBTI whatever is like EFJP or whatever. And
that's the Myers-Briggs. Myers-Briggs. Okay.
It is so unscientific and unfactual. It's been disproven so many times.
I did not know that.
Hey, your psychology, you know the Myers-Briggs, and I'm like, yes, I know the Myers-Briggs.
Yeah, I do. It's not real. But
I hate it. I hate it so much. I will bring it up and talk about how horrible it is, like any chance I get, because there's so many people who are just like, oh yeah, it's great, and I'm like, no,
actually,
please.
Yeah. Yes, well, yes, but actually, no.
Exactly. So anyway, Myers-Briggs is terrible. That's my Pixar.
That's your Pixar take.
Here, yeah.
Anytime I see a girl on Tinder who's like who's got those letters in there, and then also their horoscope or whatever, I'm like,
oh wow,
left. Not that I get many matches anyway, but
this is 11-7 susceptible here. Well, watchers of Community will understand that. People who really watch the show the way I watch it.
You have to watch Community a lot in order to understand everything.
I watch it far too much. I am starting to watch it so much that I see everything in terms of Community. Yeah. Just me and my box, like my little phone, playing like Community episode
24/7
in your
great
sleep show. That is a great
have one eye open all the time.
If I had to recommend one episode, I would say the entire series. Just watch the entire series.
Episode 1 dash, however many there are.
But we will get into that.
We will eventually.
Next podcast episode, probably. Or
yes,
maybe the one
we'll
after
do.
That, or the one after that. But yeah.
Who knows? We'll
we
figure
can
it
just
out.
rank our top 5. It makes me tied for number 1, just to spoil it. But yeah. Anyway, back to your
last thing about
Pixar take.
Thing about Pixar. Brave is another forgotten Pixar movie, but it's only forgotten that it's Pixar, but not that it exists. People remember Brave, but they forget it's Pixar.
I always think that it's like Disney, because I guess Disney like had bought Pixar at the time or whatever, but I always forget that it's made by Pixar specifically.
Yeah, it's Disney Pixar instead of just like Pixar, or instead of just like Disney. Yeah, Brave is there. I don't think many people like it because it's every list I went on today was just like, oh yeah, this movie sucks. I'm like, oh okay.
I haven't seen it.
It's been a while since I've seen it.
I just had no interest in seeing it.
You didn't? You had no interest in a princess movie? What? How dare you? Toxic masculinity.
It gave me like.
Did I get it right?
It gave me like Brother Bear vibes, or whatever the movie was about the guy who got turned into a bear.
Also,
I watched it as a kid. Oh yeah, that was Disney. I watched it as a kid and I was like, this is terrifying me. What if I go up on top of a mountain and some spirits turn me into a bear? And then Brave kind of gave me that same kind of feel for like that kind of like
but Scottish.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure it was a great movie, just not my cup of tea because of my toxic like masculinity.
And your hatred towards the Scots, right?
Oh yeah, and my hatred of being turned into a bear. That somehow compiled into all that there.
Pixar went Brother Bear, but can make it Scottish.
Yes.
And female. No, I liked it. I don't really remember it. I guess the mom was turned into a bear at some point. I forgot about that part. I saw that at the other day.
I mean, there was some kind of animal and some magic in there. So anything that's the animals and magic, I just associate with being turned into a bear.
And Brother Bear, yes.
Yeah.
I think that's it. I think everything else was covered because we talked about Cars 2 and 3.
Yeah, Cars 2 was just so. It was like, why is this here? Like
I would have liked it better if it had focused on Lightning McQueen racing around the world instead of Mater being a spy.
Cars 3 should have been Cars 2, and Cars 2 should not have existed.
and Cars 3 was Cars, but again, female.
Yeah. It's just
Cars would make
strange. It the whole technology thing, like it was a cool kind of angle, but also it's like why.
Mm-hmm.
But
I did like the character of I think Cruz Ramirez was her name. I liked the movie. I'm like one of the few people that liked Cars 3. And when I made a mistake of going to our group of friends, and be like, man, I loved Cars 3. And they got their hopes up, and then that was my fault. Man. I will never do that again, especially with our group who are very judgmental, very particular, especially our good friend Matt. Who, if nothing's perfect, then it's not for Matt.
Yes. If it's not perfect, then his alternate personality, Tam, dies.
The Lego Ninja. We're gonna have to have one of them on one of these days if they would be so gracious to give us the time. Because I think we're almost in that territory where like we've had enough podcasts to where we can have a guest.
Yeah, guests on.
Whether someone knows them or not.
Matt,
more than likely
Colton. Not. If we have Reese on at some point,
Colton works nights, so
our podcast would explode. But Colton works nights now.
He works second shift. I think he gets out at 11.
Interesting. This is the exact knowledge that our podcast listeners came here for.
Oh yeah, our friends' schedules.
Yeah.
And who we could possibly have on. They did not click it because it said Pixar. I don't even know what I'm going to name this episode yet.
Just Pixar, exclamation mark.
Yes. All right, sure.
No, name it Cars University. Cars University.
There we go. That's right.
A Cars University life.
Cars University.
Just get as many names in there as possible. Just mix up.
I like that.
Everything.
We should do that.
A Cars University life.
Hold on. How about I do instead of spell? I put Pixar, but where the I is, I put parentheses lamp. So it's P lamp Ixar.
Absolutely.
Or Xar, I guess. There we go. I do like Cars University. I think I'm going with that one.
Scar.
Scar. I'm gonna do Cars University.
Yes. But Cars University is perfect. They'll be like, oh, it's about cars or maybe education. We'll be like, no. No.
Au contraire.
Yes.
I
Anyway.
I was gonna say, I know nothing about cars, and I barely know anything about universities, other than that they're expensive.
Oh yes, they're incredibly expensive.
Both
almost
are
unnecessarily so. Anyway, some closing thoughts about Pixar. Pixar is pretty nice. It formed a lot of my childhood because of their movies.
Yeah.
Those are my thoughts. I like when they have movies about rats or
emotions.
Yeah, rats and emotions.
We need Inside Out, but emotions. With Remy from Ratatouille.
Oh yeah, it's just we like the chef dude, and then it zooms up to his head, and there's Remy up there, and then zooms into his head, and there's a bunch of tiny rats.
That's what they should have done in the ending, and done that with all the Pixar, like the legendary Pixar characters.
That would have been genius.
Pixar, hire us.
Yeah, say that for
Even
Inside Out.
Even though we just slandered half your movies.
It's Inside Out, inside Ratatouille, and it was just
Inside Out.
The crossover we've been waiting for.
Inside-Out-atouille.
Inside-Out-atouille. Absolutely.
Nope, that's the name of the podcast now. Inside-Out-atouille.
Inside-Out-atouille. Perfect. Brilliant.
All right, so I think that's it for this one.
I'm not sure how much time my computer spent dying, but so I don't know how long you've spent recording this, but this could be our longest podcast yet. I guess we will see. I guess you will see once you're done.
And then you'll see once I upload it.
Absolutely.
So if you
guys for that.
If you guys like this video, give it a like, or this podcast, because we have it on other things now. So if you like this, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, this channel, and not Brennan's channel.
Yes. It is my channel, but it's not. Yeah, it is not. It's my channel, not Brennan.
Exactly.
For reasons that'll hopefully be revealed in episodes that I have yet to film, or installments, videos, I guess is the best word. YouTube videos. Should start filming up again soon, and I'll have a string of them to release, starting hopefully next Wednesday, not this upcoming Wednesday, but the next Wednesday. So until then, stick around, stay safe.
I saluted like everyone to me. Have a good night, everyone, or good day, good night, good whatever.
Good morning. Hope you're enjoying your bowl of cereal that you're eating right now. We will see you. I guess we won't see you.
In 2 weeks.
You will hear from us in 2 weeks.
All right.
Until then, goodbye.
Adios.